The 8th of September marks the International Literacy Day to encourage people to embrace reading. It's an annual event held across the globe under the theme of literacy in the digital world. For more on that, we're joined now in the studio by these two amazing readers. They read to children aged 3 to 13 in a park in Sophiatown, Johannesburg, every Friday at 2:30. Noeriena, Hendricks and Reginald, Botha. Thank you so very much for joining us here. Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
Well, as a start, I mean, Reggie, I'll start with you. How did this, initiative sort of come to mind? I mean, we're living in a space where, young people would rather sort of see themselves on their phones, on your social medias, taking pictures, all of that. And, as a person who loves reading myself, I'm always worried about, the importance of children going back to the basics, going back to reading. What was the driving force behind this initiative?
I guess for me, it's very personal. I have a daughter that's going to be 13 years, soon, and she sees me read, right? And I'm just worried about, the kids growing up and not seeing their parents read. Yeah. So we've kind of taken upon ourselves to, and it's a very simple concept. We pop up with books and blankets on the grass, and the kids would literally be drawn, and it's amazing to see how they are drawn to books. Yeah. So I guess for me, it's a little bit of personal, but also trying, there's so many themes that we can talk about, but I think let's start with, it's a very personal drive to make sure that, we get our youngsters to read.
All right, and for you, this involvement in this initiative, I mean, what's been sort of the feedback from those children who attend? I mean, we'll talk about how you kind of put it together, but what's been sort of the feedback that you've been receiving from the children who do come?
I think for us, it was the most shocking thing is realizing how excited they are about reading and coming back every week, being excited. And if you give them a little task, so I think in the second week, Reggie said to them, I think it's time you start your own book club. Yeah. And they went full on into it. They got their name, they got the groups, they figured out how they're going to divide the ages. So when you see that, you realize that for us, it might be just putting blankets and putting books, but for them, it has so much more meaning. Yeah. They want to read. They want to be involved in something. They want to be leaders to younger children and read to them and read with their own age groups. And I mean, not many people sort of think to do something that's not profitable to them. I'm saying this is a pop-up store of sorts, but when someone thinks of a pop-up store, someone's trying to generate money. Why did you decide to get into something that was really a sort of more giving back? What made you think this is what I'd like to do? I mean, most people don't want to give up their Friday afternoons. I certainly wouldn't. But what sort of spoke to you? What said to you, this is what I need to be doing? I mean, I've heard Reggie saying this is like a personal thing for him, but what made you kind of go, I need to help out, do something more? I guess it's the same thing. I have a nephew as well that's also 13. He goes to the park to play. We know they're all playing there, so there are enough children. So getting them to read for half an hour, 45 minutes, that's not too much. And we try and coerce them a little bit with, you're going to play soccer now, so read with us first. So that helps, and I think it's the idea of knowing that our children are at a place where they are reading as well, and not just there to play the whole time. There are benches, there are trees, you can catch a read under there and chill for a bit.
For someone who says, I'd like to maybe start something like this in my area or whatever, how did you start? And I'm going to assume that there were some kind of cost implications involved. You've got to have the books, you've got to travel, your time too. What do you say to someone who's wanting to start something perhaps similar in their own neighborhood for children in their neighborhoods?
The reality is this costs absolutely nothing, right? All it needs is a few people that are passionate, right? And I think that's the key of activating communities, is to find people that are passionate about it. This is a simple drive to friends and family. Look, I'm very fortunate. I work for an organization called Mashup, who's pretty much in the development space, right? Who's very generous in giving me my Fridays off. But it's really just a call for people, and there are people all over communities who love reading, who have space to store books, who have an hour a week, to get a few children excited. And I think the bigger overarching theme here is creating a safe space for our kids, right? And when we look at them, it's really a representation of the continent, if not the world, because the faces of different colors and different shades, different nationalities coming together on those blankets, reading or wanting to listen to a story. It's just the most beautiful thing. And there's no interference of technology. It's so amazing. I think we're the only ones that try to take pictures of them holding the books and so forth. But they are in a space where, and it's so amazing for them to get excited about books. And I think that is how we're getting paid. You know, we're getting paid back by the energy and the feedback from these little ones.
I mean, if I don't know how long you've been running this initiative that you've been doing, but you know, from inception, from the beginning, and now as you go along, have you noticed any sort of changes within the children as you sort of carry on with this thing? And is it the same kids who sort of keep coming to come and read?
They have, it changes every week. So I think one then says to someone else, so we had a child that ran in, and we're like, all like, hi, we're like, hi everyone, everyone says hi, and he just runs in, he says, takes a couple of books, and he goes, okay, I need to go now, my cousins are waiting for me, and he runs off with these books. So we have different people come every week, and they are the consistent ones, the book club girls, so they're there almost, like, they're there, some days they're waiting for us when we get there, and it varies. So we're grateful for that because the word is getting out and more people are coming in.
All right, just remind us again where exactly your spot is so that, you know, if there's people watching who perhaps want to kind of go there and see.
So in Sophiatown, there's the ShopRite, and right across from it is the park. So we're kind of just out there. As soon as you get to the park, the extreme park there, you'll spot us. It's a blanket and a whole group of children in books.
Well, thank you so much for this sort of initiative. I know it's well needed. I mean, I myself have a 7-year-old boy, and you really want to get him into that reading. Thank you so much, Reggie. Thank you so very much, Noeriena. We appreciate your time and appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a short break. Do stay with us here on SA Today.